Hi, welcome to this video where we will see how to prepare a strategy to feel confident when making calls for B2B sales. The key to calling consistently is to adopt a positive mindset before each call. We'll start our video looking into the caller's mindset. Then we will look at how to prepare for your call and position yourself to deliver a clear and confident message. We will look at these steps which you can use for guidance until you can deliver a convincing message to your prospect. In step 1, we will see how to introduce your product and be able to handle rejections. In step 2, we will look at a product overview. As you can see here, in each step we will look at some points that you can use to apply for your product, and we will apply them to create a sample calling script as a reseller for Autodesk Revit, which is a 3D visualization software competing with other softwares like 3D Studio Max. The person on the left is a sales professional like me and you. He's selling a product which he believes is great to a prospect who he knows to be smart and a good candidate for his product. He needs to meet company targets, so there's a natural tendency to talk about how good the product is. As that sales professional, you should avoid this tendency and instead realize the need to sell is your problem and not your prospect's. For the prospect, what's important are meeting his goals, but he doesn't care about what product he needs to use. You should take your attention to understanding your prospect's goals, almost as if you were his peer. And as you help your prospect reach his goals using your product, have faith that he will convince himself and solve your problem of needing to sell. Let's face it, most people are confused by cold calls because they're in the middle of something else. Your introduction should help your prospect get a clear picture of your purpose so that you can set a positive tone for the rest of your call. You can start by introducing your responsibility, briefly telling them about your company background. In your introduction, be clear that you want to offer something which you believe is valuable to them and you're not looking for any favors. When my prospect Greg picks up the phone, this is how my introduction sounds. Hi Greg, good afternoon. I'm a sales manager for Autodesk Revit, based in London. We make a 3D visualization software, and I'd like to discuss about how you can develop cutting-edge 3D views using our software Revit. Is this a good time for you? Next, we deliver our product overview, which is an important part of our cold calling strategy. First, describe your product's high-level objectives and where it fits in. Help your prospect relate to your product quickly by explaining how it's similar to the products that they already may be using. And then, tell them what are some of the things that can be uniquely accomplished by your product and highlight the differences. For selling our 3D visualization software, this is how my product overview sounds like. So Greg, Revit lets you design 3D views of buildings by doing modeling, lighting, and rendering. So in that sense, it's like 3ds Max or Maya. It also gives you an engine to perform structural analysis and has built-in components to easily design complex structures. So you can create not just elegant 3D views, but also structurally accurate and with much less effort than 3ds Max. You may have a prospect with potential, but he may not be looking to change his product and might say, "No thank you, I'm happy with my current product and I'm not looking to change it." If your prospect tells this to you, maintain your composure and tell him that your call is going to be about how much improvement in performance or quality that he's going to get over his current product and how that's going to impact his company revenues. Clearly express your company's credibility, saying something like so. So Greg, our company is 10 years old with around 2,000 customers across the world. Some of them you may be knowing are A, B, and C, and mention a few of the biggest customers that you have. When you have a prospect who's extremely busy and says, "Sorry, I'm in the middle of something else. This is not a good time for me," politely reschedule your call by saying, "Can you tell me what would be a good time for me to call back?" And when you get a prospect who's not interested and says, "I have no use for your product," please don't waste your time on me. Move on to the next prospect and cheer yourself up by reminding yourself that there is absolutely no shortage of prospects. But if it happens regularly, then take it as a feedback to work on your prospecting strategy and find more high-quality prospects to call. Next, understand what goals are important to your prospect so that you address them during your pitch. For example, if your prospect is a medium-sized company and has plenty of resources, their goal may be to win more customers and may be in need of better performance. If your prospect does more of a given task, they may have a goal of improving productivity and revenue related to that task, and so may be in need of better functionality. And if your prospect is short on resources, their goal may be to save money and time, and so they may have a need of improving their efficiency. To understand our prospect Greg's goals, here are some questions I might ask him. So Greg, what kind of projects do you typically work on? Exteriors or interiors? And what is the typical size of projects that you work on? Small, medium, or large? Or I might ask him, Greg, do you perform a lot of structural analysis? Can you tell me about your workflow? The final step of our cold calling strategy is to deliver the product pitch. Now that you understand your prospect's goals, explain what benefit your product can give to satisfy each of their needs. And back it up by taking a relevant example problem or scenario, describing the major challenges faced, and explaining how your product can solve it better than the competition. And clearly mention the unique features in your product and the differences in workflow between your product and theirs as you solve the example problem. For example, I might say, Greg, you can improve the quality of your designs by up to 50% and win more customers using Autodesk Revit. Greg, let's say you want to design a 10,000 square foot hotel lobby. One of the challenges is to design elegant furniture inside your lobby quickly. Using 3D as Max, you would need to design individual faces, which can be quite time-consuming. Autodesk Revit has a new component feature. Using this feature, you can design furniture by just doing 2 steps. Also, you no longer need to wait for rendering to complete. You can do auto-rendering using Revit's cloud rendering feature. And finally, provide data comparing your product and your competition on the basis of metrics such as performance, efficiency, and so on. So for our example, we might say, Greg, to design a 10,000 square foot hotel lobby, it might take 20 hours using Autodesk Revit. However, doing the same design using 3D Studio Max might take you 40 hours. So you can imagine, you can do 3 to 5 times as many projects using Autodesk Revit and get more revenue for your company. Thank you for watching this video about cold calling, and I hope you enjoyed it.